You ever feel like you got into martial arts in the wrong century? You know how back in the day they used to be able to train for hours and hours at a time, and that was all they did. And these guys created such impressive levels of skill that we still talk about today. They had this amazing dedication and they had this amazing ability and strength, not just physical strength, but strength of character, strength of discipline. Like these guys, these luminaries, the Ueshibas, the Kanos, the Musashis, the Hatsumis, right? The guys of today. How the Takamatsus for you Bujinkan guys. How did they do it? Like they literally spent their entire lives training, and today we don't have that ability, or very few of us have that ability. Very few of us have the time, with our lifestyle today. We don't have the time. We don't have the resources. We don't have the ability to dedicate hours and hours and hours a day to a single pursuit, right? Unless you have no family and no responsibilities and no job and you're independently wealthy and that's all you do is train, then great. You're like the, you know, 91% or 0.1%, right? What about the rest of us? Like, you know, when I was a kid, I was a ninja. I mean, I dressed up and I, went around and played in the woods and had smoke bombs and I wanted to be a ninja and, did all those things and I trained in, whatever martial arts I could find, taekwondo and karate and Okinawan goju and, and eventually, yeah, finally I got the Holy Grail and started to train, with ninjas like the Bujinkan, right? But when I was a kid, I had that time. I could afford to go out to my backyard and spend hours training. I didn't have a job. I had to go to school, but that was about it, right? So, what about the rest of us? What about today? What about those of us who, we have families, we have jobs, we have responsibilities. We cannot spend hours and hours and hours training, even though we would love to, right? We would love to. Those days when you can just go to a seminar and spend the day training, they're awesome. But they're few and far between. So how do we now, here and now, in this day and age, how do we become great? How do we develop the kind of skill, the kind of power, the legendary martial power that these guys of old had? And how do we do it with the time constraints that we have? Well, that's a great question. And I've spent probably the last decade or so trying to answer that, to figure that out, to train and study and learn and practice and take all of these high-level martial skills and body conditioning exercises and reverse engineer them, look at them through the lens of not just martial arts, but through the lens of cutting-edge sports science and the most up-to-date training techniques in strength and conditioning, and figuring out, what is the essence of these things? What makes them work? What things do we specifically have to do to get the maximum results? And what can we discard? What stuff is not necessary to build this amazing, powerful body for martial arts? So what I've done is I have put together all of my top training techniques, combining the best of the internal power work and the best of the strength training. And I've created a minimalist program for you, for us today, to work and to train and to have time, to have a life, to have a family, to have a job, but to get the maximum amount of results possible out of your martial arts training. Because once you implement this stuff in this new program. I call it the Power Protocol. It's advanced minimalist power training for martial arts. And the key here is the minimalism. What are the necessary things, practices, training that we have to do in less than 30 minutes to create a highly resilient, very powerful, highly mobile and flexible, and extremely, extremely strong, functionally strong body that doesn't quit, that hits like a Mack truck, that moves like it's flowing, like water over rocks. How do we create that in a minimal amount of time? This program is it. Okay? So if you're interested, if you want the skills, but you don't have the time to train, if you want to become great, you need to develop your body. Your body is the key. Once you can train your body, then you have created a foundation to build all of your martial skill. You can use these tactics and training in any martial art to unlock the potential of any martial art. That's the key. It's not a you know, this exercise for this martial art. It's all martial arts because we all share the same body. So we must train the body in order to increase our level of skill. All right, so if you want the maximum amount of martial power in the minimum amount of time, then you need to go to warriorfitness.org/power. I'll put the link below. Go check that out because that is going to be your one-stop shop for being able to move with skill, to be a powerful, forceful, and really great martial artist. All right, guys, I'll see you on the other side. Have fun.